Breaking news, baby dolls, from earlier today. Michael Burry has officially closed down his fund. And he's left an actual letter. I'm in shock. Everybody else in shock. Remember from The Big Short, Michael Burry is like the autistic guy. He is actually autistic and he's got a glass eye. He's the, he plays into the Generation Zoomer and the Generation Beaters, the deepest, like their biggest fantasy. Because they're like, a lot of them kind of autistic. Their biggest fantasy is, oh, everybody else is stupid but me. Everybody else can't see this one thing, right? I can see it. So everybody else is long, I'm short. Remember, Michael Burry, he got famous shorting in the GFC. Something interesting about the story as well, just so everyone knows, friends. When he was like shorting, he was still about 2 years too early. Okay, that's critical to the story as well when he started shorting. So, but because he got away with murder, he came to play the game again, right? So this is the NASDonk as well. So he started getting concerned around here. He's like, whoa, there's a big bubble forming. And it like went up and 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 up. You know what I mean? Like it took forever and ever and ever. Pop. Okay. And that's where he became famous. Okay. Because he could see, remember that it's a fantastical dream. Let's play some Pumper G music. The fantastical dream of, only you are the chosen one. Only you can defeat everybody else with your magical spoon. That's what, we all have like this, it's literally a fantasy, man. Like you dream about little kids, like, I will take on David versus Goliath, right? So Michael Burry closes down his fund and he actually has this post, this email. Dear investors, it's with a heavy heart I will liquidate my funds and I will return my capital, but for a small audit or tax holdback by year's end. My estimation of value in securities is not now and has not been for some time in sync with markets. So he's admitted, he goes, I just don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, but he goes, with heartfelt thanks and with apologies, I wish you well in your future investments. Okay, so you really want to know what was going on, friends. And I'm going to keep this as racist as I can. That's right. Okay. We told him, bro. We told him about the money printer. We told him. So you want to know, Sammy, please, okay? This guy is autistic. He crushed the S&P returns, like he outperformed because he's like the master shorter. What couldn't he see? Well, probably, I'm telling you, bro. We told him, listen, you don't have a money printer, bro. You don't have a money printer. You don't have the ability to just press a button and increase the M2SL. They do. You got to be careful of that. This is it. Okay? This is it, bro. Right? So, we're just telling you, dude. If you're short, I want you to think about, friends. You know when they say, oh, short, things go up, things go down. Dude, it's not actually that. Okay? When you're short, you're borrowing against the asset and you are longing the other side of the denomination. So if you are short Bitcoin, for example, okay, you're not just betting, oh, Bitcoin goes down. No, I want you to think about what you're thinking. You're doing over time. You are owing somebody Bitcoin, the scarce asset, and you are longing the US dollar redoonie. All right? You're longing the tulip. Okay, you're playing hot potato. So he got away with murder in 2006 and 2008 in the GFC when the housing collapsed. You know, friends, I always have like the famous story where, they walk in and then there's strippers, right? So the big short strippers, right? I think, do you know, there's that story in there where like they go out and they figure out, I think maybe this is it, keeping it a bit family friendly. Yeah, I think you go in, friends, and he goes in, he says, hey lady, what, are you into like loans and stuff? And she's like, yeah, I get like, 15 loans and I get like, 2% deposit and I just get to buy all these houses or something. And And that's why there's like that scene in the movie where they're like, you know, where the main actor, right? He's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Crap. There's an alarming thing here where like even strippers who have no financial experience, even they are allowed to get all these loans. You know, there's like this critical breakthrough moment. And that also feeds into the fantasy. But it didn't work, okay? Why didn't it work, friends? You know, look, because he was shorting into the biggest bubble of all time, the AI bubble. That's it. All right? So that's why we tried to tell him over time, bro. We were yelling, all the crypto dudes. We were yelling, Habib, they have the money printer. Okay? They're doing QE, bro. Okay? They have to reflate the Ponzi. Habibi, Michael Burry. Habibi, please, let's listen to Habibi music. Let's go crank it right now. They print a money and they increase the supply of that denominator, dude. Okay, the more you keep looking for shorts, you're playing with fire. So he kept trying to short in the face of the biggest AI bubble run of all time. Friends, you got to imagine, okay, look. This is actually a very common story with markets, okay? When, friends, markets price in the future, okay? Now, there's the wisdom of the crowd. You watch your friend Sommy here, I'm wearing a bull hat. Moo! I tell you all the time, dude, the market will price in the future and you have no idea what the hell it's doing until the future comes and plays out. And then you realize it's actually pretty good at it. Okay, put one example, okay? If you're looking at the stock market, okay, friends, the stock market, for example, will actually bottom out around 6 months before the data bottoms out. So here was the NASDAQ, friends. The NASDAQ bottomed out in Feb. Guess what? Do you know the US GDP was still bleeding up until like August of 2009? Do you know that? We were still bleeding millions of jobs. But why had the NASDAQ bottomed out before? Because, friends, it just sniffs out the future, dude. Okay? It bottoms out before the stocks. It can see stuff in the future. Okay, I'm now going to flip it here for you. What the hell is this? You probably ask me, Sommy, why is this thing going on such a big, supermassive run? Well, bro, I'm telling you, dude, Matt is bringing out the Chinese sex robots. They make you sandwiches. They give you massages. They put your oil on your back. Okay, they whisper sweet things into your ears. They are your slave. NVIDIA, the GPUs, dude, okay? It is the super most powerful deflationary force we have seen for mankind. We are adding consciousness to a chipset. It's going to be smarter than a freaking human. All right? And it's your sex slave too. It's got no rights. You can yell at it. You can spit on it. You can tell it to wipe your bum. You can tell it to do 1,000 things, friends. It's not going to complain. Do you understand what that means for the future? You probably don't, and I don't either. I'll just tell you right now, the market's saying, guess what, man? Things are about to blow the hell up. Kaboom. All right, that's what the market's saying. It's saying we're going to get a lot of robots. We're going to have a RoboTaxi. By the way, friends, Elon Musk is already doing that. When he's not DMing Tiffany Fong to try to have his 15th kid, he's already targeting Uber. Friends, Uber have, I think it's 8 million worldwide drivers. Did you know the RoboTaxi, you do know this, I'll tell you many times, RoboTaxi has lowered the cost of an Uber drive by 75%. When I say deflation, that's what I mean, bro. 8 million people's jobs are on the line. Yeah? If it costs $10 for a trip, guess what? The Tesla RoboTaxi is going to do it for about $3. There's no human driving. You don't have to smell that smelly fart in there. Unless it's yourself. You see? Imagine the extra discretionary income we have now. What does that do for food delivery? What about the drones? What about the courier deliveries? There's no humans driving the stuff. What does that do, friends? Now, you got to think, hey, do you even really need a car? If the cost of a RoboTaxi is 75% less, by the way, people who own the Teslas, they will be able to lease their car out and earn yield and yield farm their car. You see what I mean, friends? So I know I'm just another guy out there wearing a bull hat moo and who's pegging his own nipples and quite enjoying it. A bit too much for a bear market vibe. But I'm telling you, the market's pricing in stuff you and I got no idea, bro. It's doing something for the future. It's saying, guess what? This is the future. You don't know how good it's going to get because your little monkey brain can't understand. And that's exactly what happened with the internet tech boom in the 1990s, okay? So when you see this internet text and everyone goes, bubble, bubble, bubble. But what do you know? Okay, what do you know, friends? Remember, I told you thousands of times, okay? They asked everybody, would you be excited to order pizza using the internet in 1998 if you could go to a web page? And everybody vomited at the idea. They go, I'll just call up the person on the telephone landline and order my pizza. They could not imagine with their little monkey brains that in 7 years, they are going to be poking random girls on the internet in social media, getting all their adult material fornication stuff through this little device on the phone that connects to the internet. Okay? That's literally our whole world today. But if you go back into late 1990s, you just see these things freaking going parabolic to the moon, which is literally it right here. Okay? You literally just see this. Literally, okay? You can actually come back here. Okay? This is the NASDAQ, okay? Right? It's literally, I mean, it goes literally through the moon. Okay? You're just watching this. You're like, bro, what the hell's going on? Well, it did go on to change the world, okay? And yeah, it does go silly at the end. But that's why everyone's saying, I know everyone's saying, hey, but Sammy, you know, we're not saying it's not going to change the world. Of course it is. We're just saying it's silly right now. Okay, dude. You're saying it's silly right now. And I'm telling you, Michael Burry's his fund is closed, okay? Also, friends, some Redditors are saying that Scion itself isn't actually fully shut down, but he just deregistered from the SEC. So we can turn it into a private family office. That's code word for I want to punt by myself and I can't take the political pressure. It's killing me. Okay. Now you might say, Sammy, this is interesting, right? Is this a top signal? Could be. It could be. It's kind of like, you know what, man, we ran on the biggest AI bubble run of all time and we made him close out his fund. Boom. It could be it. There's just, you know, there's just something else going on there. There's a lot of bears, bro. There's a lot of bears. I don't think he was the final bear. I don't think he was the final bear at all. We got 4-year cycle bears. We got Uncle Peter Schiff. Friends, we got everyone who's refusing to buy altcoins until the Fed does QE. Talk about being bearish. They have no faith in buying crypto unless the Fed gives them the okay. We got the motherload of bears out there. Okay? And the bull market will end when you kill the final bear, all right? There are plenty more bears left. Yeah, it could be hope, could be cope, I don't know. Okay, we'll play some angel music as well, just to smooth it over for us. Just to smooth it over together, okay? So, his fund's closed down. Who's next, huh? Who's next? You mess with the bull, you get the horns, okay? And I want you to understand something. He's just a smart dude, okay? Friends, he's literally autistic, okay? He's a very smart guy. You know, but see, this is the thing is, this is where markets are tricky, right? In 2023, he was saying there are similarities between now and the Great Depression, right before the run. Okay. He was saying that right here. Okay. But what actually happened, friends, the market just kept going up. Okay. But I want you to know, bro, like, friends, this market, okay, it prices stuff into the future that you cannot see. There is a wisdom of the crowd. All right? There's a wisdom of the crowd. Wisdom of the crowd means, friends, it means, okay, if you ask one individual person to guess what the hell's going on, they sound retarded. They got no idea. But if you get the collective pricing of everybody, it's a good mechanism. It sniffs stuff out. Okay? So you've now seen it, right? Also, we're still in Year of the Snake. This is my cute chart. Next is Year of the Horsey. Right? Man, it is nice though. We crushed him. His fund's closed. Actually, I want to show you this as well. Okay, this is something we just don't see at the tops. Rami Al Hashimi. Retail's never coming back to crypto. They came in 2021. They bought altcoins and NFTs. They got wrecked. They came again in 2025, bought memes and got wrecked. They now know crypto is a scam. Okay. You just don't see that at the top, bro. You don't. Okay, let me show you in the Wall Street cheat sheet what you see at actual tops. See complacency? We just got to cool off for the next rally. At actual tops, you have everybody saying, this is your last stop to buy the dip because it's literally going up 30x without you. And your grandchildren will be working on a potato farm, all thanks to you because you didn't buy this dip. Yeah, that's complacency. Is you had a big crack, everybody's in, everyone's ignoring the signs as euphoria, and everybody's saying, this is your last chance to get in. You must buy this dip. Are you seeing that? Nope. You're seeing the opposite. Everyone's saying, you got to sell this rally. You have to sell. There's a 4-year cycle. Everything's going bad. Everything's going down. I'm a genius. It's all an AI bubble. Crypto didn't even have a bubble. It's just dog shit. Liquid diarrhea from day one. That's what everybody's saying, okay? But Wall Street's still buying. It makes you think, okay? Something interesting as well from Crypto Crew University. The 150-year-old chart predicted this Benner cycle where we peak in 2026. My friend Kyle, the circumciser, quite interesting. Kyle was talking about this in 2024, right? So, you know, it makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. So, friends, I hope you learned as well. I'm not saying never short or anything. Actually, you probably shouldn't. Okay, 99.9% people. I'm not saying never do it, but I want you to think about why he got crushed. And I want you to think about, this is the thing, man. He hit a big home run. Yeah, he got world famous, man. Do you think, honestly, he's going to listen to a crackle smoking guy in a bull hat on the internet like me saying, bro, you know they're printing at 7.5% per year, right? You know that. You know your PE earnings, you know your models are basically skewed, right? Habibi? You know they're skewed because they're normally printing at about 4.5% per year, Mr. Michael Burry. And they are now printing at almost 8% per year, Mr. Michael Burry. Do you understand what that means, sir? It means it's literally a license to go parabolic. It is Fugazi. It is Ponzi. It is nominal repricing upwards. And there's nothing you can do about it. Mr. Michael Burry, they're stopping at nothing because they have a big amount of debt. Who's paying it? The rich people? Nope. The middle class is paying it, bro. They ran this experiment after World War II. And they paid off the debt, Mr. Michael Burry. It took about 10 years. Bonds were paying you a dog shit 1.5%, and the inflation was 10%. And no one had any idea what the hell was going on. Bro, all you had was a newspaper. He had nothing. It was even before the Super Nintendo was invented. He had no idea. But their minds had so much PTSD from the Great Depression that getting a 1.5% bond yield from the government seemed like winning gold. The problem was they were inflating you at 10% per year, and by the end of the 10 years, guess what? Half of the debt had been paid off, and it went to healthy levels. Who paid it off? The middle class. It's like a frog in the bathtub getting cooked, boiled. Okay, so we all know this, friends. We're trying to tell him, like, bro, just you're trying to short into exponential money supply, money printing, bro. There's a giant debt. Who do you think's paying off the debt, Mr. Michael Burry? See, friends, I want to tell you something, okay? Mr. Michael Burry, by being short, I want you to know something, okay? Mr. Michael Burry, when he was like short and looking for these shorts, okay, he was expecting that, all right? Do you know what this means? That means the elites, whatever you want to call them. It means they let all their rich, powerful friends and their net worths drop 90% and reset back to break even so that the little guy can go and buy up these cheap assets. That's what he was betting on. And we're trying to tell him, we go, bro, they're not going to do it. You really think they're going to do it? That makes absolutely no sense, dude. These are literally reptilian lizard. Sick reptilian lizard. I can't use the proper words I want to describe them, okay? You really think they're just going to go reset all their power, bro, for you to get your massive crypto crapo down only chart? No. Well, what's the alternative? Middle class pays the debt. There you go. Middle class pays the debt. Look what happened. Boop. Isn't the middle class paying the debt right now? Yeah. They say the Kippy's 3%. They're printing at 8%. Everybody's been paying off the debt for a couple of years. Congratulations. So, it's a lesson, friends, a lesson for life. You know, we're probably towards the tail end of this massive bull anyway. But, you know, there are still bears around. There are. But, you know, I just want you to learn, man. Even when you think you're super smart and you get an amazing right once. Friends, let me tell you something right now. Okay? There are crypto traders right now. They had one win. They had one win here or some big home run, and they think they're geniuses too. And they're about to get cooked. Okay? They will get cooked. They're getting cooked actively. But you're just going to watch it play out in real time. Okay? So, you now understand, friends. That's why I wanted to know, dude. Is everything going to zero? Why the hell do these things go up? Well, you know why, bro. The NASDAQ, friends, this is 25,517 units. It's priced in US dollars. Right? So they keep debasing the currency. And it's blowing all the models. You have this is the insane part. You have record debasement plus record life-changing technology, AI, being priced in the market. I mean, talk about the absolute worst condition you could ever imagine to get short or even conceive to look for shorts. It is literally the worst market ever. You could not think of a worse time. You have literally life-changing technology that's going exponential. And they're printing your poo-poo currency as well. Okay, so there you go. Now, where does that leave us in crypto? I hope we pump and moon next year, friends. That's pretty much all we got left. We're like the last asset class. The world hasn't woken up to it. You never know. Maybe sprinkle in a new Fed chairman. Sprinkle in some of this QE pausing, which is QT is stopping in 2 weeks. It's literally starting to get priced in right now. And you just never know, man. Something might flare up. AI becomes sentient. I don't know, man. I'm just telling you right now. Look what happened. Michael Burry, friends, he tried to use patterns from the past and apply them to now. And the patterns and signals did repeat again, but it was a different outcome. All right? So I'm staying long. I'm staying strong. You're my friend. Moo, like, subscribe. Catch you soon.